Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a cute little Valentine's inspired melt and pour soap project. I was inspired to make these soaps after I picked up this cute conversation heart mold at a local Michael's craft store, and I just thought they would make perfect little soaps for your guest bathroom or great Valentine's gifts for anyone that likes handmade soap products, or you could actually sell them as well. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my step-by-step process and tutorial of how to put these together so that you can make your own. I'm going to be putting the recipe that I'm using here and the products in the description box below so that you can recreate this project if you like. If you like this content, I really hope that you'll check out my Patreon campaign. That's where I post weekly recipes and tutorials, all in the skincare, hair care, and candle making areas. We have 3.5 years now of archive recipes that you can take advantage of at just the $5 level. There are literally hundreds of recipes now because I post weekly tutorials and recipes. So I really hope you'll take some time to check it out. There's a ton to take advantage of just at the $5 level. We also have 4 other tiers, each with their own unique benefit. We offer things like bonus recipes and live classes, live monthly hangouts, monthly gift packages, coupon codes to my favorite suppliers, and so much more at a really affordable rate. I really hope you'll check it out. Give yourself a chance to learn a new skill or enhance a skill that you already have. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we are using a melt and pour soap base for this formula today, and we're going to be using the Crystal Soap Base by Stevenson. I did pick this up, I think, at Brambleberry, but you can get the Stevenson soap base at a lot of places. I might have gotten this at Candle Science. I know they are sold at both of those places. So the Crystal Clear Melt and Pour soap base has a really good lather, and I really just like the clarity of this soap and how it sets up. We are going to need 18 ounces for total for this project because each of these little cavities holds 3 ounces a piece. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off 18 ounces. So I need to cut this up into little multiple chunks before we get going. So I'm just going to place it into this little empty container here as I go, and then that way I'll have a place to hold all my cut up pieces of soap. So we're just going to chop this into little 1-inch meltable chunks. So I have had a goal for a really long time, for probably over a year now. I've had this goal of putting out 2 videos a week for you guys. And sometimes it works out, but for whatever reason, most of the time, I am a busy mom, and for some reason, just with life and everything that comes up, I have a really hard time putting out 2 videos a week. So again, in 2023, it has been my goal to put out 2 videos a week. And that being said, for the last month, we've had crazy things happen that have prevented me from doing that. So for instance, in the end of January, I was going to put out the Blue Tansy video with the Butterfly Pea facial serum all in the same week. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out those videos, they are both up, but those are supposed to go out in the same week. And we had an emergency situation with my husband, who ended up having appendicitis and needed an emergency appendectomy. And so we had that whole week of like just the surgery and recovery. And so we had to spread out the content over 2 weeks instead of 1 week. And then I recorded 2 videos last week in an attempt to publish 2 videos that you'll be seeing this week, or that you should be seeing this week. And I had technical issues with my camera. I filmed 2 videos completely out of focus, and by the time we got them into the editing phase, it was too late basically to do anything about it, and so it's put me behind because I'm having to redo the content. So this video was already recorded one time, and I am redoing it because I just couldn't live with how out of focus it looked. It was really not good. And so that being said, we will only have another one video this week. So for the next 2 weeks, there will be one video upload because both videos I recorded last week are out of focus. So it's just one of those weird things. It's like the harder I try to make it work, you know, the more it doesn't. So hopefully I can get my act together here and get you some more content soon. That has been my goal, I'm telling you, for a long time. So I'm hoping that not this week, but the following week we will have 2 videos, although I can't make any promises to that. I will do my best to continue striving for that goal. Okay, so there is my 18 ounces of cut up soap. And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and weigh off 6 of those ounces because we're gonna do each row a different color and scent. So I'm gonna do the first row only first. So what I mean by that is I'm only gonna weigh out what I need for the first 2 cavities. So that is going to be 6 ounces of melt and pour soap base. Okay, and once you get your 6 ounces weighed off, we're going to go ahead and pop this into the microwave at 30-second bursts until it's completely melted down, and I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, now that everything's melted down, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of titanium dioxide, and this is just gonna whiten the soap base and make it opaque. So we're gonna create a white soap using the titanium dioxide. You could just buy white melt and pour soap that's already colored with titanium dioxide, but you don't have to. If clear soap is all you have, you can just add a little of the titanium dioxide dispersed in water. So just make sure your titanium dioxide is water soluble. Okay, so we're doing that because what we're gonna do is fill in these little letters with white so that they pop just like the conversation hearts, those little candies, although I think the letters on the candies are probably just different colors, but we're gonna make ours white. So I am using a pipette with kind of a longer like nose to it. You just wanna make sure you're using a pipette that's like this because we're gonna have to get into those little crevices there. So first I'm gonna spritz this down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. That'll help my soap get distributed evenly. And then you're just gonna I'm pushing this down because my mold is a little bit wonky here. So you're just gonna put it directly into the little letters. And don't worry if some gets out onto the outside of the letters. I'm gonna show you how to make that better, but just do your best. It'll make your life easier to get it all inside the letters. So as you see, some of mine did get out, but again, that's okay. Okay, once all your letters are filled in, if you have some on the sides like I do, like coming out of the letters, you just want to go ahead and get some sort of like scraping device, or you can use a clay scraper or a little butter knife if you like. My lab spoon has a little scraper tool at the end of it here, so I'm just going to scrape these up, being careful not to pull the letters out. So this can be kind of the tedious part of this project, but I think the end result is worth it when you take the time to just get those out, because we're going to make the actual hearts a different color. Okay, so now that all my molds here are filled up a little bit with the lettering and I've cleaned up all the soap that was coming out of the letters, it's time to go ahead and pour the first 2 cavities. However, you're going to notice that your soap base does start to set up a little bit, so we have to remelt this down, and I'll bring you back when we're ready for the next step. All right, now that we're melted down all the way, we're going to go ahead and add some color to this. So we're going to be using some pink vibrance mica, and I just have a little bit left here, but I'm going to measure it out anyway because I don't want to use too much. I'm using about, probably half a teaspoon, and I might put in a little bit more if it needs it. And the pink vibrance mica comes from Nurture Soap. And there you go. I don't think I'm going to be adding in any more. I just want a nice pastel pink color. And then I'm using mica because we won't have any bleeding of the colors. So when this goes over the top of the white lettering, it's not going to bleed into the white lettering. And I'm just spritzing it with rubbing alcohol to break up those mica bubbles, those little mica chunks that come up to the top. And giving it a good stir to combine. And then I'm going to add some fragrance oil. So I'm adding in some strawberry fragrance oil. This comes from Brambleberry. Now I'm using this fragrance oil because it smells like strawberries, but it also smells like candy to me, which that's what I'm going for with these soaps. So it's a really good strawberry fragrance. So I'm going to be adding in 5 milliliters of strawberry fragrance oil to this 6 ounces of soap base. Giving this a good stir. Now this is where it can get a bit tricky. You don't want your soap to be so hot that it melts the white, and since there's barely any in there, it is easy to do. So you're just going to make sure that this is not super hot. In fact, I'm going to go get my thermometer so I can read the temperature. Okay, so we are sitting at around 137 degrees, maybe 140-ish. Yeah, so I'm going to give this a little bit of time to cool down. I want it probably in around the 120 range before pouring over this, so we don't melt that. I have done it before in my practice batches where I melted the white and it just didn't have the effect I was going for. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to pour. Okay, so I think we're ready to pour now. You'll see as your soap cools, it gets a little bit more viscous, and that's when you're typically ready to go ahead and pour it in. You just don't want it super hot. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to spritz these 2 cavities down with 99% rubbing alcohol. This will help this soap in here adhere to the already white soap that's in there. And it's also going to help with the surface area and getting the soap in all the cracks and crevices. So I'm going to start slowly by just kind of pouring on the sides of the mold, so we're not going directly over the top of that. Okay, and then we're just going to give this a spritz with rubbing alcohol to pop out those bubbles. And I'll bring you back when we're ready to do the next set. Okay, my next 6 ounces is all melted down, so we're going to go ahead and add in our color. We're going to be using orange vibrance mica, also from Nurture Soap, and again at about 1/4 teaspoon or so to 1/2 teaspoon of color. We're just going for a pastel orange. Give this a good stir. I'm also going to be adding in some titanium dioxide again, just to give this a nice opaque and pastel color. I'm going to add a little bit of that titanium dioxide to lighten it up to that pastel color I'm going for. And that's perfect. And then to this, I'm going to be adding in some mango fragrance oil. This is also from Brambleberry, and it just smells like a ripe and juicy mango, but also a little bit candy-ish to me. But it's definitely a fresh and juicy fragrance. We're adding in 5 milliliters, again to that 6 ounces of soap, giving that a good stir. Now I'm going to take the temperature. Okay, we are too hot. Right now we're sitting right around 150. I'll bring you back when we're ready to pour. Okay, we have dropped down a bit in temperature here, and we're just going to go ahead and spritz the next cavities with rubbing alcohol here. Again, that's going to help the soap adhere to the already white layer that's down there, and it's going to help the soap spread all the way across the cavity. Okay, go ahead and pop those bubbles out, and then I'll bring you back for the last set. Okay, so this last little bit of soap is all melted down, and we're going to be using some of this Jam Session Purple Mica, also from Nurture Soap, and we're going to pop about 1/4 teaspoon in. This is a very potent color. A little bit goes a long way, but I also will be adding in some white here in just a minute. You can pre-disperse your mica into a little bit of rubbing alcohol and then add it to your melted soap. I have done that before. I know a lot of people do it that way, but my soap needs to cool down anyway, so I don't mind the stirring. Okay, and then we're just going to add a little bit of white to bring that up to a pastel color. That's beautiful. And then to this, we're going to be adding in some fragrance oil called Twigs and Berries. This is from Nature's Garden, and it is marketed as a Christmas fragrance, Twigs and Berries by Nature's Garden. And I did use this at Christmas time in that ribbon candy soap. Again, we're using 5 milliliters. If you haven't seen my ribbon candy soap video, I hope that you go check it out. I made a really cute ribbon candy Christmas melt and pour soap with this fragrance oil. So if you think about the smell of like a hard old-fashioned candy, that's what the twigs and berries kind of reminds me of. So it doesn't have to just be a Christmas fragrance, although it's definitely appropriate for Christmas as well. I think it has a good conversation heart fragrance as well. It's good for this project. So we're just going to check the temperature here before we move on, and I need to come down just a little bit. I'll bring you back when we're ready to pour. All right, so we're back to go ahead and pour that last bit of soap. All right, we're going to go ahead and allow a few hours for these to set up completely, and then I'll bring you back when we're ready to unmold the soap. Okay, so these are fully set up now and they're ready to come out. So let's see how they turned out. I really hope I didn't melt the little white lettering on these, because as you know, this is the second time I am filming this video. Okay, let's see. Oh, how cute is that? So that one turned out just perfect. It smells really good too. And there's that one. The last one. Didn't those turn out so cute? I'm so glad they worked out. All right, everybody, that's how you make a cute little Valentine conversation heart inspired melt and pour soap. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment or question below. That really means a lot to me. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to share this video with a friend. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.